Welcome to Shruti Outloud, a podcast where I invite guests from different walks of life to share their stories of following their passion, success, and happiness, which in turn motivates our listeners to follow their heart. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Shruti Outloud podcast. First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming back. And yeah, you guys just keep coming back for new episodes. You can't get enough of this. And I'm so glad. I'm so glad because that keeps pushing me to meet new people, to bring new stories, to bring new motivations. And I just hope that, we can keep doing this for years and years as long as I'm here and you all are here. Why not? We don't have a reason to stop, right? So, on that note, I want to introduce you to our guest today. And I think, for as long as I can think of, she might be the youngest one so far. Yes, I think so. I think so. Yes, she is possibly the youngest one. So, she is a podcaster herself and she hosts two shows. That's absolutely amazing. And she's just 14. So I want to quickly, bring her on board and let her talk and let's ask all the questions that have been, brimming on my head. And there are so many things that I want to ask and I don't want to delay it any further. So let's bring her on board and talk to her.
Hey,
Hi,
Shruti.
Kashish.
Hey, how are
Hi.
you?
I'm doing so well. First of all, thank you for being a part of Shruti Out Loud. And I'm feeling so happy and so glad that you are here and we are having this conversation. And yeah, there are so many things I want to ask you.
First of all, thank you so much, Dee, for inviting me to the show. I'm really excited and honored to be here.
I am excited as well. I am so excited to ask you so many things. I just keep saying that that I want to ask you so many things because honestly there are so many questions that I do want to ask you.
Yeah, sure. I'm excited.
Absolutely. So let's start with the first question that came to my mind when I was sort of researching on you and thinking of what to ask you. To start with, I love knowing the history of how someone was named and the meaning of their name. And you have a beautiful name yourself. So could you tell our listeners what it means? And did your parents ever tell you how they decided to name you Kashish?
Thank you so much for the compliment. Kashish means Akarshan Shakti. My parents told me that they look for various name option for the letter K, as that's what Panditji suggested as per my Rashi. And they liked Kashish as they thought this will be the most suitable name for their lovely daughter. I like it. I love my name.
Absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, that's good to know that, your parents have told you the story behind it. I'm so glad. All right. So my next question is one of the burning questions. And because, you are 14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So as a 14-year-old, what are the usual things that 14-year-old usually do? And what made you choose a different path?
Okay, well, yes, I am 14-year-old. You will not believe people of my age these days are doing some fantabulous job. If you look at some of these people whom I have interviewed over the last 6 months, there is someone at the age of 9, Prasiddhi Singh, who is on a mission of planting 1 lakh trees. Then there is someone who built an award-winning app, and there are youngest authors at my age and many more. But what I want to say is that technology, environment, and our parents today give us a lot of opportunities. And if someone wants to pursue something, then they can always go ahead and do that. So age is no more a barrier as such if you want to pursue something.
I totally agree with you on that part that, this age, the technology that we have right now has actually opened a lot of doors because I remember being a 14-year-old, we did not have really a lot of options to do. Like,
Absolutely.
we could, yeah, I mean, we had the option of going out and playing, but yeah, otherwise, obviously, there were books to read. But right now, if you talk about it, if you actually think about it, um, you if you want to know about something, you can just go and research on Google,
on
so see
Google.
something on YouTube. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. And I think parents also do play a major part in this regard. That if you can see that there's a spark in your child regarding something, then you have to sort of, give them the right, um,
Freedom,
absolutely,
freedom,
the right
yeah,
freedom. And also the
just
right
to
medium to explore it.
yeah, yeah, like if the child is saying I want to be a cricketer, and then allowing the kid to be a cricketer and follow allowed to follow his her passion is like one of the thing that we all like. अगर हमें अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी तो so for sure अगर हमें वो करना होगा तो कोई भी करेगा. So parents play a very major role here.
एब्सोल्युटली, एब्सोल्युटली कि अगर एक पैशन है तो उसको फॉलो करो. और एंड आई थिंक ऑल्सो नाउअडेज पेरेंट्स आर ऑल्सो ऑन दैट प्लेटफॉर्म. मतलब वो लोग भी वहां पे हैं जहाँ पे दे लेट देयर चाइल्ड गो एंड एक्सप्लोर.
Absolutely.
कि जैसे एज लॉन्ग एज आई रिमेम्बर एज अ चाइल्ड, although that did not really happen with me, but mostly उस टाइम पे the pressure was either to be a doctor, engineer, or and there were very limited options. Thankfully my parents were not like that, and they just let me be and they allowed me to explore myself, so I'm glad about that. But yes, that has been a very persistent thought for the longest time.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so let's talk about your shows. Please tell our audience a bit about both and how did you come up with the ideas for both of them?
Okay, so about my shows. Well, that will be an interesting story to share. So one day my father saw me using Facebook, and then he mentioned, rather than using Facebook, spend some quality time on LinkedIn, and from there you will gain some knowledge. And I was like, and in my mind I was like, oh, nobody used that, and my friends never told me about that. So that means like no one seems to be using it. But however, I created the LinkedIn account and started scrolling on the platform half like, and as there were hardly any picture or videos, like there was just and there. But then I saw some of these other kids on LinkedIn posting some content through their work, and not only from India but from abroad too. So I started going through their profile, and they were doing some amazing work, I would say. And I was like, this is interesting, and I would like to spare like I would like to explore them more and to get some inspiring and get some inspiration at the same time. Then I decided that I'm gonna network with these people, know them better, and share their journey, success, challenge, and failure with other kids. And because that was inspiring, and that's how Talkify show started. I have interviewed almost 40 plus people that include TEDx speaker, Bal Puraskar Vijetas, book authors, and 90% of them are young kids under 16. And the other thing is the Little Yoga Club that I was inspired by my mom, and she was doing yoga, and I then learned basic yoga from her. Then started a 30-minute yoga session with kids. With all this 30 and my 10th class, I kept that on a hold for now, but will revamp it post my exams.
Wonderful. This is something absolutely amazing that first of all, your father inspired you to basically, hop onto LinkedIn. And from there, all the inspiration majorly started.
Absolutely.
And also about this yoga one, I'm so glad that you are on this journey already. That, as a 14-year-old, you are doing that. And I really hope that, yeah, this is something that you keep doing for life. Because I'm sure that if you have been doing it, you already know how good it is and how,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
benefits of yoga.
absolutely, absolutely. So, okay, I have a question here. So, I would say, what is your favorite asan?
My favorite asan is balasan.
Yeah,
Like,
I love that.
yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So, also, let's talk about the balance that you strike between your obviously education and the side hustle that you have already started at the age of 14. So, how do you manage between your studies and your podcast? And do you have any fixed timings, or how do you divide your day between the two?
Okay. So you know what? Sometimes it's become a bit difficult to manage it since I'm in class 10th and my parents want me to focus more on studies. So I kind of kept the Talkify show on hold for a few months during my exams, but it's getting managed. Not being the regular weekly podcast host, but I try keep posting the content, trying to balance my study and talk show together. Hopefully, post my exams, I will be podcasting more frequently.
So good to hear that. So good to hear that. Even with your studies, even right now, you are whatever time you can give to your podcast, you are doing it. So that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. So, what role do your parents play in all of this?
Oh, my parents are my big support, and so they keep motivating me. And my father initially did help me with the designs. Also, whenever he sees a good podcast, he shared the link for me to learn more. And now I'm kind of learned Canva and coming up with motivational videos and has more plans in my minds. And but yeah, they are my big support always.
So good to hear that. So good to hear that. And I absolutely love how your father keeps sharing things with you. I think that's the most amazing thing that, give your child the right thing and they will learn from it. So, so glad that your parents are doing all these things to keep you motivated and keep you going on the paths that you have picked up for yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So, Kashish, moving on to our last section, our last question of this recording. What are your intentions with this podcast? And now that you have given it wings and both of you are ready to fly?
Okay, so my intention is to empower my listeners. You know what? Sometimes we just need a little kick or a little motivation to take our first step towards something or towards our dream, towards our passion, or towards our better future. I was just hoping my show to become a motivational source for million of kids around the world. They can take some inspiration from our guest journey and take action for their better future or for their first step towards their dream.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Okay, so before I let you go, what do you want to tell our audience, young and old? And is there any piece of advice that you would like to give them about following their dreams?
Okay, so one thing that I truly believe in is fail fast. That means if you are a kid, then this is your time to time to try on whatever you even remotely like, be it a sport or a hobby, and try all these things and fail fast. This will help you know your true passion, and once you know that, then you can start acquiring same skills around the same. And secondly, I think it will not be appropriate for me to advise my senior people, but if there is something I want to tell them is, then please do not care much on what the other people think about you, because that's probably the most damaging thought I have heard. And yeah.
Kashish, even though you are a 14-year-old, you have absolutely said something that people do need to hear, whatever their age may be. But yes, that is absolutely one of the most important advice that you have given to all our listeners. And I really, really hope that after listening to this episode, after listening to how you came up with the idea and how you are managing things between your studies and your passion, I really wish and I really hope that this is going to inspire and motivate a lot of people. So thank you
thank
so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you again for inviting me to your show, Shruti. It was seriously a great fun, and I've learned some good tips from on podcasting, and that will surely going to help me. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And feel free to get in touch with me if you might have any questions or anything at all. And yeah, it would be wonderful to keep connected with you. And I would love to see you fly
Thank
as
you
high
so
as
much.
possible.
Thank you. Ah, well, I will. Thank you so much.
All right, Kashish. Thank you. Have a great day.
Good evening.
Bye. Shruti Out Loud welcomes all stories. It can be a brand, it can be an organization, or it can be a person. The only thing common would be passion for life. Please subscribe to this podcast on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, Ghana Podcast, and every other platform where you can hear this. Please leave a review as that helps my podcast to grow. Thank you once again. See you for the next episode. Bye.